You've definitely heard of Parasite. Question is it that good? My opinion is yes. A film about a family living in poverty whose luck suddenly turns and a series of interesting events ensue. It's a movie that's easy to follow with a light sense of humor. It's the sort of film where if you're on the fence about it, just watch it. It's only 2 hours and 12 minutes long, and you probably won't regret it if you like interesting films that have a lot of twists and turns. It's also got a lot of symbolism and underlying metaphors if you're more of the in-depth movie analyzing type. It does have a rather bittersweet ending though. A really fun film that's not only nostalgic for those who grew up playing with Legos, but also a movie that, for a kids film, is quite well thought out in terms of its concepts. They really took the concept of Lego and applied its creative, versatile nature to this film. What do I mean by that? Well, let me put it this way. When you watch this film, it reminds you not only of Lego and all the various things you could possibly do with it, but also the culture of Lego. What Lego means for people. How Lego is used in people's homes and experimented with to make all sorts of things. It also tackles the way kids imagine and create, whilst bringing in some family dynamic elements too. It's not just a fun animation film with everything made of Lego, it literally takes the idea of Lego and incorporates it into a fun, fast-moving film that I thought was really one of a kind. Ex Machina is not your usual sci-fi film about the advancement of AI and robots that look extraordinarily like humans. It's a film that's got style, character, a storyline that gets a bit chilling as it goes on, well-written dialogue, a great cast, and great effects. It's a film that asks questions not only about why we as humans have created and are continuing to create AI, but also throws out questions on the themes of life, existence, evolution, love, sex, and the intelligence of machines overtaking that of human beings. The soundtrack is also great, with one scene in particular towards the end of the film. For those of you who've already seen it, I'm referring to the scene with the knife, where this deep electronic track, Bunsen Burner by Cuts, kicks in that's just perfect for the situation. A truly memorable film with a great concept and a fantastic ending. True Story is based on, well, a true story about an avid journalist who crosses paths with an alleged murderer who has a charismatic, likable personality and begins investigating the truth behind the events that took place the night he supposedly murdered his entire family. Starring Jonah Hill and James Franco as the journalist and the alleged murderer, respectively, I was impressed seeing these two actors, who are usually in comedy movies, in a serious movie like this. Both performances were outstanding, and it's really amazing to see an actor or actress star in a role outside of their usual genre. So this movie's got a pretty serious tone, but it's also got a great plot line, and the way the story unfolds is quite enjoyable. You're probably thinking, I can just tell this movie's plot right from the title. A bunch of kids go into a forest and stay in some creepy cabin, right? You're actually not wrong. It is, as the title suggests, about a cabin in the woods. However, this is one of those films that is more than what it seems, in a way that you would never, ever expect. The plot also escalates to a point that by the time it gets to the end, the movie becomes much, much more than what it is at the start. A somewhat recent hit in Hindi cinema, Andhadhun is a dark comedy crime film with an intense plot full of sharp twists and turns, lies, murder, and deception. Ryan Gosling plays a nameless movie stunt driver by day and a crime getaway driver by night. A mysterious guy who lives alone, wears cool jackets, and isn't the very talkative type. He suddenly gets sucked into the mob world and things escalate rather quickly. You may remember when The Interview was released back in 2014. It hit the news after the North Korean government threatened to take action if Sony, the studio, released this film that basically mocked their country, culture, and leader. Although the film was actually edited by the studio to be more acceptable for North Korea, the computer systems of Sony were hacked before the movie's release, and it all became instant global news. After watching this film for the first time, I thought to myself one fundamental thing. This movie is hilarious. I, personally, have always loved the sense of humor the Seth Rogen movies have, and, in my opinion, this is the best one ever. The characters played by Seth Rogen and James Franco are an almost unmatchable duo, and the two have a chemistry that just ties this whole film together. Also, the usual pop culture references and somewhat silly humor these movies have blend perfectly with the topic of North Korea. Whether it's offensive or not is up to you, but there is no doubt that this is a funny movie. After his daughter goes missing, a father spends every waking moment tracking her movements and figuring out what happened to her. Sounds familiar, right? We've all seen this kind of premise before. But what makes this film particularly interesting is its concept. The film is composed entirely of screens, meaning you can see what the characters are doing on their phones, computers, CCTV cameras, etc., but never the characters directly. It's the sort of thing that you really need to see in order to understand fully. Searching is a really refreshing take on the missing person genre and makes a comment about how much of our lives are composed of screens. I was honestly a bit unsure about seeing this film at first, as I thought the whole concept would be a little bit gimmicky, but as I started watching, I really started getting used to the structure of the movie. Searching works because it's well made, well thought out, and has a great story for any thriller or mystery fan. Stylishly dark and mysterious with a plot that zigs and zags with every scene, Gone Girl is a mystery movie that wins you over with its execution, cinematography, and story. A husband is suspected to have murdered his wife when she's declared missing, and you, as the viewer, are stuck in the middle, not sure who to believe. A smart movie with well-written dialogue and immaculate pacing, Gone Girl is perhaps the best film of 2014. Maybe even the best film ever.